The Hamilton Tiger Cats unveiled Zach Collaros as their new quarterback on Friday. I'm here with the Spec Steve Milton. And Steve, your impressions of the young man?
Well, Drew, they're very similar to, only amplified, to what I felt as I saw him the last couple of years in Toronto. We talked to him a lot there, mostly in scrums. I see a very focused young man. I see a guy who's quite intense, and I see a guy that clearly is in good shape. I mean, his upper body, you can see it through his suit, and I know it was a well-tailored suit he was wearing today, but he's broad up here. I think he's going to be able to. So that means that he can take the pounding. We've seen that when he runs. He's a running. He can run. I mean, he's a throw first guy, but I'm pretty impressed by him as a human being. He's very young. Now that you could say that could be a hard sell, but he's also selling himself to younger players. This has become a young team.
The Ticats have allowed Henry Burris to go to free agency in signing Collaros. They've traded a 38-year-old quarterback with a long CFL resume and a Grey Cup ring for a 25-year-old quarterback with 8 career CFL starts. Ken Dawson, head coach and general manager, refused to quantify that as a gamble. Is it a gamble?
I think there is an element of gamble to it. I would say that you would call it a measured gamble, a considered gamble. And Kent referred to that in another way, coming at it another way, when he talked about that. This is one of the times when it's a little hard to be a GM and a head coach at the same time, because the head coach wants now, and the GM tends to look a little bit more towards the future. He feels that he has both. Both tenses are in this player's body, and I don't think you could say that with Henry. Future, who knows at that age, at what year that it was going to end.
Austin talked about Collaros being a guy that could be here for 5 years, for 10 years, a quarterback of the now and the future. Does he have that kind of potential to be, a 15-year CFL guy?
I can't possibly answer that, and I don't think Kent could either, because there is no template for that in the CFL. There are people that you look at and you say, how did this guy end up 10 or 15? I mean, Anthony Calvillo, if you'd looked at him at that age, at what he went through at 25, no chance he was playing until 42. Some other players you look at and say, well, this guy will be around forever, and they last 3 or 4 years. It's an awful lot like being a goaltender in the NHL these days. You can't really tell until somebody's put 2 or 3 good years together yet. And right now, Collaros has a half a good year.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you like this move?
Yes. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. I like Henry. We all love Henry as a human being. And I'm down a bit now. When you look at in terms of the milieu around this team, Marwan Hodge, Dave Stala, and Henry Burris. Like, you're talking guys that can light up a room, guys that are always enthusiastic about whomever they meet. I'm not saying Zach won't be like that, or the players who are replacing Marwan won't be like that at all. But this 3 years, Drew, is a weird 3 years for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You're looking at upheaval in the roster and in places to play. I mean, they won't play the whole season in one place until another year, until after the Pan Am games. They're going to be.
We're talking 2016 now.
Yeah, 2016. Before you could say that this is a season without significant disruption. So 3 years disruption, and I think. It's probably helped the team. I think it's helped the team focus on a few things. It's certainly helped Austin focus on a few things. This guy's really focused on what this team is going to be.
Make sure to check out Saturday Spectator for a full report from today's action, as well as the Scratching Post blog for video and multimedia and all kinds of stuff. Reporting from 1 Jarvis Street with the Spec Steve Milton, I'm Drew Edwards.